Hello, bless you in all ways. Thank you for being here and representing and allowing for this experience to take place in your life. There are a lot of reasons and possibilities and opportunities in our physical expression, recognizing, why we are here and what our purpose is, what our purpose could be, what our purpose should be is an interesting way to look at it. Um, but I know that what is occurring right now is it's momentum, right? It's shifting, it's changing, it's enlivening, it's being real with the self so that there's relevance within the karmic suit that we are wearing. We have this journey that we're all on together, and these moments are offering opportunities for momentum, opportunities to move forward, to experience a journey in this physical body form. And there's a need for a realization and understanding of inward experiential motivation. I find that many people that I come in contact with um, do want to change, they do want to grow, um, but there's a sense of self respect that it appears to be foreign for many people. And self respect meaning the ability to look at the self, to notice, to know, to rectify, to realize, to embody the full expression of the self. There's a strong way that what we believe to be ourself shows up, and it stands firm, and it has occurred for many years. It has been for a long time, millennia, eons even. But there was a difference. There was a different way that it showed up in the beginning. So if you knew, you had access to your beginning of your experience of your individuation, you were able to make contact with that, then you would experience this awareness that you are in existence and that your existence is far flung into what we can call the past. But there's evolution that has taken place that is time sensitive, and it causes curiosity. It opens up the doors and the windows, and the skylight is able to receive, the expression of this light, of this birth of reality that we all are. And if you can get into that space, if you can recognize that whatever it is that you're experiencing, whatever it is that you are being honored with, this life that we get to live, if you can experience that with the clarity that it takes to fuel the depth of the mission that we all have, the commission, the witnessing of what we have, what we're living. If you have the ability to journey into that darkness and witness the truth and the reality, and to make contact with the heart of the mission of your existence and the quality of who you are, the awareness, the exchange of energies, that it just comes alive. You know, you have that passion and that energy and that fulfillment that is present in the beginning. If you can capture that, then the momentum, the motivation to continue to move forward, it shifts. it changes, because when you're thinking about the perspective of 20, what you call 20 years, of the feeling of the pressure of what 20 years is, and then you combine that with the soul, there's a way that, 30 years, 40 years, 50, 60. I mean, I know some 70-year-olds who cannot clearly see themselves. They can't see the mission that they're on. They can't see the quality of the energy and the love and the attention and the compassion and the wisdom that they are and that they've been afforded and that they have built within. Meaning that I am speaking now to the self that has the five or six senses. And so that self is not the within self. That self is more the without self, the self that exists outside. So whenever we say within, we are meaning that there is this experience of the connecting link to that which we call the soul, the inward reality, the essence of being, the nature of oneness with the creator. The fulfillment of conscious understanding comes from that expression of light and energy that is basking in the rays of godliness, and that is witness to something that is incomparable. But there's the gentleness that is present still. And so the evolution that takes place from that place, then the movement takes place, this generation of life that moves forward and brings us to this moment where you are hearing this now, and this moment where you believe that this is a different reality. If you are listening, then you are listening, and you can know that now this is something different, something has shifted. And if the shifting patterns of conscious understanding have taken place within the self, as the energy shifted, then there will be the awareness of that oneness, possibility. There's never any force, there's only guidance. And if you receive the guidance, then you will follow along and you will go to that moment. And you can skip through these steps. If you have listened clearly, then there is no need for that next step, because the moment is still present as its self, its conscious reality, its momentum that came with the shift has been established deeply within the core of humanity. If there is the choice then to receive what that is, then being human, then the self can express and experience it. This clip, this sound is not for the inward self, it's for the outer self, so that the outer self might understand the inward self. And there is confusion, because if you look at the time frames, then there's belief patterns that are linked into the time and the space and the opportunity. There are belief patterns that are locked in. There's a consistent way that the self is seen, and there's broader perspectives that need new paradigms in order for there to be the witnessing awareness of what has moved through. And the ego does not know how to listen, nor does the ego know how to shut up. And so the ego becomes the problematic expression of the self, the one that comes forward in the need to share and equip the self, is not that one that is the real. So that we call the thing inner and we call the thing outer, and we say something real, something not real. And so these are words, but they are not words that completely, they're comparison words. They're words that must have something else. The law of duality is present here in this expression. There must be one other thing in order to understand the one thing. So there's always a front and always a back. But when the self that is expressed into the physical is in that momentous occasion of having this opportunity to balance these actions and feel these impressions and these expressions. If this is where the self can be present, then this value is there. Although most of the ones that are now present in the physical clothes of the reality, this dimension of consciousness as we have come, most of the ones here in this presence do not have the ability to fully witness the characteristics of wholeness that are always present. And so there's confusion, considerable amounts of confusion, when the self wants to be expressed as and wants to live as, and not knowing that this is then the physical reality and the physical dimension, and this conscious mind and this ego attachment throws the self off. But the ego is then realized. There is this self that is the realized self that is a witness unto this creative process, this gentle movement, this hopeful movement. And there's also the desire then for there to be something that can be held. And so there's again an opportunity for the real self to be motivated and to walk and talk and express within this momentum so that there can be whole understanding. The self, as is in the physical, is the expression, and it's the one that can come to the understanding as it is expressed. It can arrive back around in to that expression of the light of God, and the expression then can be connected. And so then there's a portal that is processing within the one physical frame. And that one physical frame can express itself. Hopefully, it does express itself if this is the desire. And then in some occasions, the desire is not to be expressed, the desire is to be still and present. And this is also viable in many different ways for many different selves, but the self that is alive and awake is alive and awake for actionable reasons, and it cannot stay silent and compressed for very long unless it leaves, and it does not express itself within that physical encasement any longer. But the desire is always there for the expression of the self. So this comes out as we are here now in this last dumping ground, this physical expression. The light is, and this is as is the shadow for the I am, the mind, and it encapsulates awareness and an ability and an opportunity. And if it is taken, then it can be taken to new heights, new levels. It can express itself as that which is whole and holy, and in flows the completeness. And this journey then becomes a journey of care and love and unity, if there is a sense of empathy. And so, for the self that is individual, the other selves that are present, then that self individualizing itself must become aware of the others and give the others the opportunity to express as they will. And the character is then established within the momentum. And so, if the self is fully realized, then the self does not express as separate, it only expresses as the awareness of unity. And then the time, space, reality does not come into play. There's only this which can be experienced, and it does not have a name. So the momentum and the motivation dies, and there is no name for this one as it expresses as it is. And then there's just the reality of existence, and there's nothing more than this.